when did this start happening? Like, when did you realize that now the guys have started canceling and
In fact, the issue is not guys canceling.
mhm.
Like for me myself, I was lucky. No clients like cancel. They just said, okay, let's wait and see until when the menace is over, then we can
Yes,
be able to do the trips.
yes,
But I guess I was among the luckiest because I did my last trip on 15th March.
yes.
By so yeah, that was the last date of my trip. So I consider myself lucky because actually, quite some people had discouraged me not to do it, but the clients were like, "Yeah, you know what? You're just already planned. You've already even created the group, so
Yes.
let's just go on." Yeah, but yeah. So basically, my last trip was on 15th, and I believe I'm among the last TOs who did. TO stands for tour operator, so I believe I'm the one among the last who did the traveling. Yeah.
That was the trip just before the one for Magadi.
Yeah. I went to Garendara. It was a day trip.
Yeah, I saw the video. I saw the YouTube video.
Yeah. That one.
So how are you able to generate revenue this time now? How are you able to make money? Eh?
We are not making anything like it's zero. So for me to generate my next coin until this pandemic is over. So as
Yeah.
for now, like we are not making anything. We're just relying probably on savings. That's how we are able to to go through it. Yeah.
And maybe I think for you, this is the time that you are now able to like engage more with clients. Show the memories of the events that or the trips that you've gone previously. Just try to build contacts and also brand awareness, more people to know Kibaria Travel. Are you investing a bit more in your marketing at this moment?
Yeah, especially on YouTube that I've been using this time because most people are at home sharing the links. That is how I'm looking to make Kibaria known even in this pandemic.
Yes.
And always at least sharing at least a post that will market you, not for now, but in the future.
Yes.
I'm also using this time to finish up on the website. I should be hosting a new website by end of the week.
Yes.
So this time I'm using to create enough content for the website so that when the pandemic is over, I'll be like on spot. I'll be having everything I need to do the traveling now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
is there if you have you been able to look at maybe other players in the industry? How are they approaching this? For example, maybe your competitors. Like what are their sentiments, and what are they using this time to do?
Basically, this time everybody is just trying to survive because our industry is basically traveling, like from one place to another. But we are all in support of the stay-at-home campaign to ensure that the pandemic is over as soon as possible. Yeah, so basically for us, we are grounded completely. So there is no way you can be able to maneuver, maybe be in business, especially if you're a tour operator. And most hotels also have closed, starting with the likes of Ole Sereni, they are not operating. Villa Rosa, Kempinski, they are not operating. So those are like one of the giants in the industry, and you can see they are off. Almost all the hotels in Masai Mara are closed at this time. The most recent one was another one known as Lalanasi. It's in Nyahururu. So despite it not being in Nairobi, where you say like coronavirus has been identified, even places where the cases has not yet been identified, they're already feeling the heat because it's a connected industry. So if Nairobi is affected, even Nyahururu is affected. Because say like Lalanasi, the main clientele comes from Nairobi, so they cannot be able to sustain the pandemic. So we're just waiting for this thing to go. Yeah, because it's crazy.
I know this pandemic may be here for a while because you can see that it has just come into Africa, and the numbers are already shooting. We had what Mutahi Kagwe said the other day. But all the same, I think from a business perspective, you also have to keep on remaining optimistic and saying that we are hoping that this, pandemic ends. So immediately it ends. What is your immediate plans once the pandemic is now declared no longer a pandemic? What are the immediate plans for Kibaria Travel?
Basically, is to travel more and do pre-visits, especially even outside Kenya. I'm looking at outside Kenya more to go to destinations I've not gone. So those are like my immediate ones. My thinking personally, from my judgment, I think the pandemic will not end earlier than June. So I believe it's past June. Then basically, traveling is not like a basic need. So it's a secondary need. And even some of our clients, some of them have been laid off. Yeah, so everybody is training as at now economically. So let's say when the pandemic ends in June, you can be sure clients will not be just coming in July. It might take another 3 months. So the pandemic ends like in June.
Yeah.
My thinking is the earliest clients will start to travel is around August. So for me, I think I'll just be doing more pre-visits, yeah, maybe doing the videos, yeah, as I also grow my YouTube channel, and yeah, so those are the immediate plans, yeah.
So once things resume back to normal, are you planning to resume the initial schedule of activities that you had, or are you going to now rethink it and now look at maybe something else?
At least I have to do the trips because clients are booked, say for Magadi, clients are booked for Magadi. So once we resume back to normal, it's to engage with my clients and ask them, hey guys, when are you thinking is the best time for you now that this is over?
Yeah.
So immediately the pandemic ends, you can be sure like my first travel will be Magadi. And from there, yeah, Rwanda, especially Rwanda had a good number of clientele because we were already at 32, so I was almost hitting 40 for Rwanda.
Oh, okay.
So that was like a good one. So especially because I have already like a 30 there, I've already booked.
Yes.
Yeah, when business comes back, I believe I'll be going to Rwanda with about 60 people. So there's also an advantage if you look at it in a bigger way. Yeah, because at least that you are going and you just need to market. There's more time to market. Say the pandemic ends in June, a place like Rwanda, you're likely to go in December. That's when guys can find at least 5 or more days from work. So so we shall just first trip will be Magadi, then Rwanda in December. Of course, other trips in between.
Yeah, because of coronavirus has been, hygiene standards. So maybe now looking back as Kibaria Travel, do you think that maybe you've been able to maintain very good hygiene standards? And even as you think of that answer, maybe now moving forward, what steps are you going to put in place to ensure that hygiene remains part and parcel of the mode of operation for Kibaria Travel? Because you have clients who have to handle food, they have to withstand long hours of travel within the same vehicle. So there is a lot of movement, touching of seats and all that. What steps are you planning to, for example, put in place to ensure that going forward, things are much better and clients can remain calm, that very good hygiene standards are kept?
Washing of hands definitely will be there. Sanitizers, but I'm not so sure about that because we are Africans. In fact, it was very difficult for me to stop greeting people. You just meet your friend and you're like, wow.
Yes.
And in our industry, it's about your personality, how you treat clients, say from greeting them, from hugging the huggable ones. So it's a bit tricky because it's more of, you have to be warm, and warm in Africa, it's like greeting people, hugging them. So the best of the best is just we hope the pandemic is over, but of course we need to tell people to maintain the hygiene. And for us as a company, when it comes to the way we are handling food, at least we are a step ahead because most of the times we are taking food from the hotel, so it's easy from the hotel. Guys always have been washing hands. even before the pandemic, because we are able to do it from a hotel setting. And all the hotels in Kenya, you have to appreciate the hospitality industry in Kenya, the hotels.
Yes.
Because I've been to other countries, especially in East Africa. Yeah, you can't compare any hospitality industry in East Africa, which is better than Kenya. Kenya, at least their standards have been high, even the cleanliness have been top notch, even before the pandemic. Yeah, so I appreciate the players in the industry a lot. Yeah.
Good. So maybe now for you on a personal level, how are you surviving? What routines are you adopting? Because for me, of course, I'm working from home, and I still have targets to meet each and every day, despite wherever I am. So
for me, it was not very hard because I've been working from home. That has been my routine. The only place I feel bad is that whenever I'm about to go, say, to a new destination and I want to travel, yeah, I can't travel. I'm restricted. I have to stay here. But on the routines, it's pretty much the same for me. The only part thing is I cannot travel. When I'm not traveling, most of the times I'm usually, indoors, just working from home. So it's not too difficult for me. I've somehow been used to that already. The main challenge is when we are not traveling, we are mainly like doing pre-visits, looking for new destinations. That's the only challenge on my end. Yeah.
I think we have someone new joining, Leo Kokemboi, but there's a bit of noise in the background, so I'm trying to give him some time to adjust. Maybe for the next 3 months, there's a high chance that health-wise, most of us are going to gain a lot of weight. Are you adopting some gym, some kind of working out in the house? Personally, I'm not practicing those things. Personally, I'm not.
That one has been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Personally, yeah, I used to go to the gym, but in January I went to the gym 30 days.
Yeah.
In February, I was like on a break a little bit. So just when I started, then the issue of Corona came, and I was like, hey, hell no. Especially in the gym, there's a lot of sweat. We have the towels we have to wipe with, although we normally use the sanitizers. But yeah, the cool and wet towels would easily spread the disease. So right now, maybe a morning run, not every day, but sometimes. At least today is on Sunday. It's a morning run at 4 a.m. because basically I had slept a lot the previous day, so I was like, just gazing around. I don't want to do anything, so I hit the road. So a morning jog is working for me.
Good. So it was quite a good time, at least having this conversation with you. Just trying to understand, the challenges that you're going through, because for you as an entrepreneur, I know you are hugely affected, and we can just hope that this pandemic can be over soon, so that at least now we get back to work also, so that you're also able to, recover for much of what you have lost, for example, in terms of time and also income that would have got if the pandemic were not there. But I also think maybe just your view as we wind up, what do you think of the measures that the government has put in place so far, and do you think that what do you think as well Kenyans can do to also just try help the government to help control this pandemic?
So basically, I'd give the government has tried. I would give them 6 out of 10 because of at least the awareness, because it begins by awareness. I guess as at now, almost all Kenyans know there is something known as Corona, even in those deep places within Kenya. But I guess also it has failed. I don't know whether you saw this video. There were some passengers who had just arrived at JKIA.
Yes.
And they're being told to facilitate for their quarantine, and they are Kenyans. That does not make any sense, because even our neighbor here, Uganda, as long as you are Ugandan, the quarantine is the work of the government. It's a pandemic. And you being quarantined, you are helping the country as well from not spreading the virus. So I'm imagining I've come, I don't have money, and I'm being told I have to pay for my quarantine
Yeah.
for 14 days. I'm a Kenyan, so that did not go well with me. So there they have failed. And there was another thing, I guess, did not augur well with businessmen and entrepreneurs, where they were saying we might be going for a total lockdown, but you have to pay taxes, as in there's no waivers, there's nothing. So that would sound rather selfish of them. So yeah, that's why I'm denying them the force. Because even basing on the other Eastern African countries,
Yeah.
at least there are measures they are taking to protect their people, their businessmen. But in Kenya, it's everyone for himself. Like they don't care. So yeah, we just need our taxes. We don't care the pandemic was there, but you have to pay. Yeah.
Maybe looking at the argument that was presented by the government spokesman, Colon, is it Colonel Oguna?
Yes, yes.
He mentioned that if we were to stop paying taxes, then ideally it means that all government operations come to a halt, because the government does not generate, any kind of income from anywhere else apart from the taxes that we provide as a nation. So maybe does that validate the fact that government people need to continue paying taxes? Only that now, for example, the private sector and maybe can try and provide more enabling ways for people to be able to be comfortable during this time. An example of which would be, for example, if you're working from home, you're saving on fare, for example, right? So maybe that is extra income that you have that you would not have had if you are reporting to work each and every day. In addition to maybe money that you would have used to buy food in town, which is a bit more expensive compared to where you're staying as an individual. So maybe the opportunities of working from home, and also again, for example, a reduction in, for example, accessing your money from banks via M-Pesa. Those are charges that have been reduced just to try and make life a bit easier for Kenyans at this time. We've seen like one or two landlords saying that they're now doing away with rent for the time being, say for a period of 90 days, just to ease the burden for their tenants. So maybe on the looking at it in perspective, is it a possibility that for government, them not being an income generating entity, maybe tax cuts may not be possible at this time? But then for the other players in the industry, what else can we do to ensure that we cushion, private citizens from the impact of the coronavirus?
I would beg to differ with this argument. And when you're talking about taxes, the perspective we are talking about on saving, maybe you're not going to the job, so you're saving on fare. That is only affecting very few Kenyans, those especially who are government employees, those who are in the formal sector. But majority of us are in the jua kali industry. They are business people who open shops in Nairobi, which means they're not getting anything, so their income is down. Yeah. And we are not saying we don't want to pay taxes. At least they should have wavered, but them expecting things to go as usual, and they're not operating as usual. And then what is the purpose of tax? I don't know whether you watched Governor Kabogo's clip. Have you come across it?
No, I've not seen it yet. You can explain a bit.
Yeah, I look at it because his argument was, why does the government need tax? It needs tax so that it is able to cater for its people. So he was arguing, instead of you collecting the money, then come and distribute. We can do this, you can allow us to use that money and we'll not be expecting any services from you as the government. So I love this argument, and we are talking about wavering, and yeah, that clip sounded more convincing as opposed. He was talking there are things they can do. There is a pandemic bill that Parliament probably would be able to pass. And he was talking, if you talk of a total lockdown in Kenya, like you can expect more chaos because nobody is going to die in the house in the name of corona. They would rather die of corona as opposed to dying of hunger. And he was saying what to do is there will be another battle between the poor people and the middle class, those who
Yes.
seem to be having food, because Kenyans will have to go and get food anyway.
Yes.
So yeah, so to support former Governor Kabogo's argument, and even for the landlords who have been able to waiver, yeah, at least it's good of them, because yeah, I would applaud companies like Safaricom. It's only a bank with KCB.
Yes.
KCB, irrespective of the money you're transacting, it's free.
Yes.
Whether you're sending from the bank to, so I applaud. Those are not government; they're in the private sector.
Yes.
And at least we can appreciate the little they are doing, because you're still being charged for some services, but some they have waived.
Yeah.
So, because I'm coming to a situation, imagine I'm being taxed and I get into Kenya, I have to pay for 14 days of a quarantine in a hotel, which the minimum would be 2,000 per day times 14,000. You're already talking of 28,000.
2,000, yeah.
And why should we pay tax? Yeah, so the government is just telling us that.
That is true. So maybe it's time government can consider, for example, suspending VAT on goods, because that would make goods a bit cheaper, and as a result, at least even common mwananchi would get it at a cheaper price. So that means that the little income that mwananchi has will not be depleted a bit easier. And then maybe secondly, also just trying to subsidize further on power, because right now families are back at home. Those using electricity, of course, they're spending again more on, or using more electricity, so which means they're depleting a bit quicker. So maybe also reducing the cost of that, so that at least you're able to access it a bit easier. Definitely. So maybe on the part of private citizens now, at least you've talked a bit on the government, private citizens. What is it that private citizens need to do to ensure that they don't spread this virus further?
Yeah, especially for those who can. I believe some are still taking this matter lightly. So the issue of staying home, I would urge them to stay home. So basically where I stay, like I'm not even meeting my neighbors, like my immediate neighbors. Some of them are going out and I'm like, hey, it might be the cause of my death. So yeah, so basically let's stay home and observe hygiene. In case I go out, like right now, in case I go out, when I get to my house, the first thing I'm doing, I'm taking a shower, irrespective of how many times I'd showered earlier, ensuring their hygiene standard is up. So I would just tell them to stay at home, let them support the government, let them adhere. Because I was in, at least that was 2 weeks ago, I was in Nairobi, and some activities seemed like obvious, but I applaud shops like Butter has closed. Yeah, so let's, if it's unnecessary, let's just avoid traveling. Let's stay indoors. At least we shall be able to curb the menace.
Okay. Thank you so much, Alex. I think that wraps it up for us today. You can have a chat again sometimes.
Sure.
Asante, man.
Karibu, to have a lovely day.